What an episode do we have today? I cannot wait to get this one going. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back. No Free Game Podcast. I'm your humble gracious host, King Solomon. And to my right, the man, the myth, the legend. I don't even know how many other. Today's going to be extra fun.
That's Jude.
Today is going to be extra fun because I know him as one way, and the guests that we have here today know him as a complete different way.
Juji.
But before we get there, I would like to introduce our guest. She is a scriptwriter. She is a songwriter. She is a publicist. She's an author. I don't know how many other things I could call her. Actually, I'm not going to do this intro no more. I think it's only right that you do it, Jew. Please.
Oh.
Please, take the reins.
I just want to introduce to America one of the dopest, most creative motherfuckers I know.
Hold on, let me.
That had me around Rough Riders while I was probably I couldn't even really do division yet. You know what I mean? First time I fell in love with a video girl magazine. This is my sis,
Lord.
Ray.
Hello.
Let's get some claps going for Ray, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get some claps going.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
No, Ray, thank you for joining us. For those who don't know, outside of all the great adjectives that I gave for you, you are also the sister of our co-host here, the Big Jew. Let's get some more claps going here. That's crazy.
Give it up to the little boy that used to run through racks, Nordstrom, and I couldn't find him.
Damn, no, we gotta
so listen. This is how we starting today off. Give me one embarrassing story of Jew. This is how I'm only gonna keep.
Yeah.
We're gonna start the show. We're gonna end the show this way. So we're gonna start the show. Give me one amazing story that you have of Jew.
Okay, Julius or Juge. He was about 5 years old, and we ran into a man who had no legs.
This story about to go downhill.
So he looked at him.
I was scared of everything, man.
So you know how little kids stare.
Oh, boy.
So he walked up to him and said, "What happened to your leg?"
I remember that shit. He was in a wheelchair, just sitting. We had to walk with like Valley Fair or some shit. And I was just grilling this. I was like, something
He was
up.
like, "What's wrong with your legs?" He was like, we were so embarrassed. He was like, "No, that's all right, ma'am. It's okay. I'll answer him." He was just like, "Damn, I ain't never seen nobody with no legs."
Get some claps going.
My mother was like,
Nobody could say nothing.
he has to answer.
Oh man! So now y'all see why I was so excited for today's episode. But man, let's dive right into things, Ray. First things first. Again, thank you for taking the time out and coming to rock with us. We really appreciate
Absolutely.
it. You know, again, I kind of went down your list of accomplishments, but I feel like I didn't really do them justice. So if you don't mind, just to get us going, can you kind of give us like your origin story? Like, how did Ray become Ray? And like, you know, some of the dope things that you've done in your life so far.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and thank you for the great introduction.
No problem.
That was a Hashitashi. Thank you so much.
You deserve it.
I'm just a Jersey girl, love music, started off writing. You know, I had a couple of deals presented my way when I was 17 and 19, but this was like prior to TLC, and I just like, them numbers wasn't right, but then...
Now, to be specific, what type of deal we talking?
We're talking, I can say it because I don't even think the record label they might be defunct. It was with Jive Records through my cousin Saji.
Okay.
R.I.P. Saji.
All right, rest in peace, Saj. He was sticking and moving. He was Jersey all the way through and through.
Wow.
He got me into Jive Records, and they did present me with a writer's deal, a production deal, which is you write songs for the camp. But the only thing is, you know, you get this $250,000, and then they're like, oh, after lawyer's fees, after this fee, and after that fee, oh, you'll get about $5,000.
Right.
And I was like,
Damn. And that's before,
it was like 20.
before the 360.
Right. That's about $20,000, but we're talking about 1991, 92.
right.
So this has been, or 90, maybe even 93. So this is many years ago. But even then, I was kind of like, nah, I don't think that's right. The numbers is right. So I said no. But
That was big of you. Let's get some class. Let's get some class for having the knowledge even back then to know when the math don't be mathing.
You know, the reason why I really said no, it was definitely because of that. It was presented to me that that's what you take.
Right.
When you back then you
Hell
take
yeah.
you
Like
take
said,
those
TLC
deals.
talked about that.
I mean, it's probably
Ended up
even to
having-
this day. I mean, it's
Right.
probably not too far off.
You know what I'm saying? You take those deals, you get known, you write for other artists, you get a name, and then you keep it pushing. And I would have actually taken it and took that L and probably be like everybody else had that story. Yeah, my music was being played and I still lived in the basement in my dad's house.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the thing that stopped me was the fact that they said no, you can't write for anybody else. So literally, I couldn't.
Shit.
Whenever they said you would be able to start working on your music, I would have to wait. But write for everyone else, and guess what? No, here you can write for people at Jive, but nowhere else. And I was like, nah, no, thank you.
And that's crazy because they're giving you a lump sum that after tax, but they're like, dude, so you can obviously make them successful. You have to use their equipment because they're making sure everything's in house.
Right.
And then.
So it was
who the fuck was running this shit?
But you have to. But when you really, if you seriously, but when you think about it, all the predatory deals that were made with everybody saying, you know, I get 1% royalty. I don't get any royalties. I sign my music away. That was the structure of the business for many years. Look at Cadillac Records back in the day. They would give them a car versus the money for the music that they did. So that was an ongoing
houses, assets.
Correct.
And they're called
Right.
Cadillac Records, which is foul.
Correct.
That's the most foul shit I ever heard.
You see what I'm saying?
Fuck money. We're gonna get you a Cadillac.
This is how we get it.
That shit was probably pre-owned as a motherfucker.
He just got a Grammy. You gonna get another Cadillac?
There you go. You see what I'm saying? Wow. That's your collateral. It's like that's what you're worth.
So
That's
going
crazy.
in, well, question now to piggyback off that.
Yeah.
Being like you said, even now it's a little different. Well,
Correct.
little because artists are just like, I'm not doing it and just putting the music industry kind of like in the chokehold because it's like, well,
Correct.
okay, we're not gonna release you, but nobody's making money. So how did you navigate through that space? Like, because like lawyers also seem to want to protect the labels back then as well. And you were coming in, this wasn't even really necessarily a term, but independent.
So
it's like, okay, I
there's
want to work with you, but
there's another factor why. Because the attorney that I asked too many questions. Now that's what I was told. You asked too many questions.
Oh, of course.
But you know who
Of
our
course you
father
did.
is.
yeah.
So if you
What's
know
that honey bun made out of?
right. You see what I'm saying?
Honey bun.
But, right.
My bad, Daddy.
You see what I'm saying? I asked questions. So, and that was frowned upon very early. So the one question I had was, well, you know, if I'm going to sign this deal, and who's going to structure it? They said, well, you can talk to our attorney. That's a conflict of fucking interest.
Always.
How are you going to have me talk to your attorney about a deal? I need my own attorney. So right from the door, there was something very wrong.
Nothing that favored the position.
Nothing. So, and then the money that they were talking about, they said, well, this will be spent like this, and this will be spent like that. But you're talking about recording, and I'm not recording anything. Your artists are recording. So I knew from then, even though I was not in the music industry, I was trying to get into it, that something didn't feel right. I didn't have anyone coaxing me and talking to me. This is just knowledge. Like, that doesn't sound right. So I didn't take that deal. And then there was another one presented to me, but I didn't even get past the A&R after we left his office. My cousin, Zaji and I, because he was like, yeah, we can market you like Whitney Houston. We love your voice. It's strong. It's
Whitney popping that just...
Damn, they trying to hit you with the Whitney line.
Right.
This is crazy.
And they were like, and I said, well, there's already a Whitney. You can't have another Whitney.
Right.
It's Whitney.
You can be like her.
Whitney, right. I said, but there's already a Whitney. And if I try to sound too much like her, aren't they like going to try to do say that I'm trying to be like her. And he was like, you just sit pretty and be quiet. I said, who the fuck is... that was the end of that. I didn't
This Versace?
Yeah. So that's why he stopped talking to me for like 10 years because I messed up 2 deals.
2 deals?
Yeah. Well, no, he stopped talking to me for about 5 years. But the point is I wasn't hungry enough for it. I wasn't hungry enough for it because and I'm not saying this about anybody else who's taken deals that were kind of less favorable and you can tell they were predatory, but they really wanted it. I didn't want it that bad.
Well, see, is that hunger or is that the desire to eat at that table? Because I used to say that shit too when I was doing music and everything, but then it's like, well, like, shit, if I don't necessarily, like, I love Asian cuisine, but if I don't like Vietnamese, why am I forcing myself to go to the nearest Vietnamese restaurant? Because I feel like that's also, too, if we can see these predatory clues, these hints, it can't get much better the further you go down the rabbit hole. Because now, if you're willing, like, you're paying studio expenses for some shit you're not recording.
Right.
It can't be much better if you going down a rabbit hole, right? Now you say 250,000. They're willing to do this,
but it depends because everybody's circumstances is different. You have people who were signing certain deals that they knew were wrong, but they knew they were super talented, and then their thought process probably was
this deal, and then I could probably jump off my own.
I can do my own thing, and I can put a name for myself, and I can do this because they knew that. I was going through a lot of stuff with myself where I was kind of like, nah. I can write my own stuff and I can do this by myself. So my thought process was different.
Right.
And I was thinking that because I was so super talented, this is what I said to me, like, nah, I can do this on my own. So I didn't want it bad enough from them. And I would rather not compromise myself, even though it was just to have that little piece of something. I'd rather say, no, you can't, none of y'all can have it.
Get some fucking class of integrity.
That takes a lot. That takes a lot of balls.
But it's not to say that, I don't like to say live within regret. Now that I'm much, much older, there are a lot of things that I saw that, like, damn, I should have got out of my way for 5 seconds. I should have waited a minute and not necessarily signed those deals, but not cut so many people off that was associated with that. Maybe if I wasn't so rough around the edges and like, you're going to do this, I'm not going to do that. There are certain things too. When you look back, like, damn, I should have been a little bit softer here. I might not have taken that deal, but they could have put me in that room where I could have structured my own deal different. So there's certain things that you can come, not living in regret, just not knowing the tools.
Or just learning, experience,
or how
growing.
to do it and not really have people around me to say, hey, Ray, don't do it this way, try it this way. Because Saji was a shark.
Yeah.
Saji didn't give up. It was like, this is what, Saji pimped me out one time. He was like, listen, take one for the team. This dude really like you and we want to get this $10,000. Go out with him. Just, what are you talking about? I remember stuff. I was like, what?
He was a hard-nosed hustler.
He
I mean, shit, I guess that's in our blood, though. He got the job done. Rough Riders, some of the shit we was like.
Saji was the very first person when Big came out that got him to Jersey. He was the only promoter.
Yeah, shout out to my cousin Sean.
Yeah, he was the only person that got him.
Like goddamn
he
was.
He was like 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah, he was a little motherfucker.
But look, our radio show was called Big Time. That was our radio show back then. That was the shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just fucking with him.
Nah, nigga, he came up with
that was his name.
That was his name, Big Time. Hype, bro, and our fans.
I just love that shit. No,
you couldn't tell she was little though.
You couldn't. He had such a big spirit. He got things done. Like he got me into 2 record deals.
Which is that alone, especially, I don't care the time frame. I don't care when the time period is.
I walked into the attorney's office and Heavy D was like, nice to meet you. He was
That's
leaving.
another flex.
I saw Mary J. Blige in the other room. I'm like, dude, yes. So Saji made a lot of moves. He had a lot of insight. It's just we butt heads because I just was like, no, I don't want to do it that way. We're not going to do it that way.
Y'all was kids essentially. Y'all was so young. How much, Besides, are y'all like right around the same age? He wasn't that much.
He was, I think he was like 7 years older than me. Not by much. Yeah, he was only like 7.
But even still, so you saying 17,
Yeah.
essentially he's 23, 24.
Right, he was young.
Very young. Y'all doing those moves. That's crazy.
Yup.
So what was like your next move after
that,
the songwriting?
He stopped being mad at me. He stopped being mad at me. We reconvened, and just like maybe 5-6 years later, we did the Brick City Summer Jams in New York. He called. He said, "Hey Ray, come. I'm doing this music, program like really for Newark." So we got a whole bunch of like unsigned talent, brought them onto the radio show. From there, we did like a mixtape CD, things of that nature. Back then, that was like 2009, 2000. Yeah, like 2009. So I'm I'm going ahead. Yeah.
08, 09, like y'all did that for like 2 years. I remember because I was at one of them. Now at the Robert Treat.
Right.
I remember
that's
that
right.
one. Shabazz Ali, I had a CD.
Yep.
I found that shit. I remember that shit.
Yep, we did a lot.
I don't know if you still knew music. It was hard.
Damn, I went through. I forgot everything. But after I didn't take the deal, we did a video show. It was called Video Clubhouse. We had Helter Skelter. We had everybody up there that you could even think of. Rough Riders. That's when you had seen the Rough Riders and everybody.
Yeah,
that's where they came in.
Yeah.
That's where they came in. So I literally just, that wasn't my thing. Then I became a mom, and then I just said, I don't think I'm gonna, try the music industry. I did write for a few camps, and then I just like, nah, that's not my thing. So I kind of stepped back from it. Never losing my voice, but just never exercising it in that way, by way of profession. Because like I said, I obviously did not want it bad enough, and I didn't go after it.
Right.
So there's always other things that you could use. Being that I write, I just took it in another direction, and I just was like, all right, we're gonna try something different.
That's amazing. And speaking of trying something different, as I mentioned before, one of the many things you have done. So one of the first things I want to touch on is being an author. So you are a published author. So let's get some claps going for that. Let's start that off.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
For all those who can't read, this is not for you. This segment. Press that
Reading Rainbow.
So one of my questions for you is, what is like your number one secret to getting actually published as an author? Because I know a lot of people, write things or whatever, and they try to figure it out, but like it seems tough for them, especially our community. So like, what's the one secret you have just to kind of going down that lane?
I can tell you, I did have a few different trials, because as a creative, I can tell you, I can create all day long, but you sit me in a room and I will get bored if you try to figure this out. Like, dang it, I don't want to. So I'll pay someone to figure it out for me, because that's easiest.
Right.
I can do it, but I'd rather just create and just hire someone. So that's when I lost a lot of money.
Of course. Dealing with bums and whoever. Yeah, right.
So losing a lot of money, putting it in somebody else's hands, because guess what? They don't want you to learn how to publish, because you'll take me out the game. I'm not gonna get the residuals from whatever it is that you make. So after losing money and then stepping back, let me just say something really quickly. People, never be afraid of recreating yourself and reinventing yourself. Ever. Course correction is the biggest capsizing to failure, if you want to call it failure, or making a mistake. Never look at it like that. It teaches you, especially when it comes to the entrepreneurship game, it teaches you a lot of things. It taught me, bitch, read. Learn how to do this yourself. Sit down. I know it's hard because it's boring to you and you absorb stuff really quickly. Absorb that and learn how to publish. That's what I did. I sat down, and after losing like $2,000 or someone who said they were going to put me in Barnes and Nobles and things of that nature, and said, how do I do this? I stopped doing my magazine for a minute and just read, just stopped for a few years. Do this right, sit down and read. So I read how to publish. And the one key factor is, if you want to learn how to publish anything that you write, make sure you get an ISBN number. That's number one. Get you an ISBN number.
These just gems for y'all.
Right. That's where you start. And a lot of independent publishers don't think, just because I'm just publishing this on my own and I'm selling it outside of my house. No, get that number. Because when it comes time for you to get ready to go into a Walmart or a Barnes and Noble, it'll be easier for you, because it looks like you're really legit. So for myself, I just sat back and I said, I want my book here. I want my magazine here. I want my magazine there. And I did the work. I did the work looking at the actual companies. I looked at Simon and Schuster. How do their platform is similar to Barnes and Noble, but not entirely. Rizzoli is similar to how Barnes and Noble works, but not entirely. So every company, even though it looks similar, it's not. It's just like every record company. They all might be shiesty, but this is shiestier than that one.
Right. Well, their shiest game is different.
Right.
It's just a different shiest.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is.
I'm around you a little bit differently.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna stick you up. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna do this thing.
It's still a robbery. I don't think about it like that.
It is. It's the same. But they still, but it's just a little, they might just tweak something a little bit differently. So for myself, I read up on each company, how they process everything. And then I did it myself. I got my number. I made sure I had my LLC in order. I made sure I had my Dun and Bradstreet number. If they hit me with this one, here's that for you. This one, what's your circulation and distribution and all of this? I had that for them because I did it independently. It was like, all right, let me get you in here. So that's how I got into Barnes and Noble. I literally read on how to become a publisher, an independent publisher. And then that's a lot of footwork. Once you do that, I said, all right, I want to be international. So I went to Toronto, and I started to look at
which I saw accolades on the passport. That's another
right. I went to Toronto, and I was like, "That's the closest place to me right now before I can get to the Paris and everything." But I'll have something under my belt. And then I looked and I saw, oh, they deal with Hudson Newsstand. Well, I'm already in Barnes and Noble. That's credible to them. I'm working with Simon and Schuster. That's credible to them. Now let's see if they'll take my magazine as well. They did, and so that's why I ended up in Tom Pearson Airport.
Wow, what
because
an accomplishment. I was going for
I contacted them.
That calm ass flex. God damn, that's how I got in the airport. That shit you reading on that layover.
Right, and I took the picture, and I was like, "This is what's going to happen." I go there. Just like if I were to hire a company, they literally they have a person to go to the location to put them inside of the newsstand, or they tell them where it's supposed to be. It's a layout. I do that. So I go and they see the actual person. They're like, oh, okay, she's not playing. But with Hudson Newsstand, they're a little more advanced, so I don't have to do it, but I want to see my product. I want to see where it was placed.
Yeah. Right.
So, and the thing is another thing that's to my credibility, if you really want to be legitimized and you read and you sit down like I did, I'm just being honest, it took years. I'm now in the U.S. Library of Congress. That's history forever.
God damn. We've had some people on this podcast. We ain't had nobody cheers to us.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I got her some red wine. We'll drink that.
Not to slow. Shout out to my boy Sean in the background. I know, yeah. Shout out to my
He got some of the best gems y'all ever going here.
But that is incredible.
yeah.
That is incredible.
You basically got to do the homework.
That was a great question, though, Ken. You see, that was actually a really good question because it started.
That's hard because we don't know too many people. Like I know writers. I know this. I know that.
Yeah.
There is the list of authors. I put quotation marks because everybody thinks they something, right? Everybody think they
write a poem
and they rap it in their mom.
Give it to your mima.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like everybody. So like to meet somebody who has done it in such a professional way and to reach such heights, I think, especially for our community, right? Because learning anything when you're black is tough, right? Because you either gonna run into your other black homie who trying to shiest you out of something, or you meet some white man who really trying to shiest you out of something too.
Right.
So different type of shiest.
Same shiest, but it's different level.
I always think it's important to kind of learn those type of things and pass on to our community. And so with that, another question I have for you, because you mentioned kind of some of the shady dealings and we talked about shiesting and things like that, just in general. So with your publishing, with music, with any business that you've done, what are like some red flags that you see or that people should look out for when working on or trying to get a business deal done?
Definitely, if one came my way, anyone that wants to partner with you, I'm always open to partnerships. If it correlates, if we mesh well, if it's good for both brands. And a red flag for me is someone who wants to sign paperwork right away without knowing details of what it is that you do. Like, did you do any homework on who I am, really?
Right.
Do you know? I mean, like, I would like to talk to you more. Oh, no. I done seen this, not seen that. No, but have you really talked to me?
Right.
Like, we talked a little bit, but I don't know you.
Right.
And I had someone who wanted to take over Height. I said, I'll be able to do more film because that's the next area that I'm in. So I wanted someone to literally take over Height by way of editorial, like just being the editor-in-chief for me while I concentrate more on the film and on television. And they were game. We had a 7-hour meeting. I went to Charlotte. Everything seemed good. Team, he had 13 members. I was like, okay, this looks good. Let's like fill out the creative aspects. Let's see how you do that. Just like if you were working at a job, what did he tell you? You get a 90-day probation period.
Right.
You don't work out, get the fuck out. Right?
They'll kick your ass out quick too.
Okay. Same thing with myself. It's a little bit different. Height is a quarterly magazine that's published online 24/7, but published it's 4 quarters. It's 4 issues. So I wanted to see how you put these 4 issues out before you start saying, I want to sign and have contractual obligation.
For everything that's
It's a probation period.
Like you said, we don't know each other. I
Right,
don't know your work ethic. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Next thing you know, whatever.
I've seen your work because I've worked with you, but this is another area, you know, and you got to give people chances. I'm for that, but at the same time, we got to make sure that this work, art-wise, where are you? Let's. You got a good team, but let's see how your team is working with where Height is. Are you going to take it above where it is? Because if you're going to keep it where it is, I don't need you.
That's the whole point.
If you're going to do it like this, which they did, I really don't need you.
I can do this on my own.
Right. So what happened is the first 3 covers just did not work for me. And one thing I'm going to say, traction, sidebar, off topic, people make sure you keep a paper trail. I got emails from 10 years ago. I refuse to get rid of them, and I've sent them to multiple emails. I forward them in case something ever happened. This is what happened this day. You remember this? No, I do. Here's your email. So with this particular person, with this business deal that they wanted, the red flag with me was, oh, give me all of your business information. The fuck? I'm not giving you my routing number.
Yeah, what?
I'm not giving you that information. Let's do the part where we can see talent-wise, art-wise, are we on the same page? I want you to take this over, but I want to make sure that you're going to keep the brand afloat. So that was a red flag for me. And come to find out, it didn't work out because that person was shadowing me without my knowledge. And the day that I told them this wasn't going to work out, because the person they put on the cover, which was on a show on BET, would not post the cover. And I had told them, this cover is not good. I understand. I'm trying to give you leeway to exercise your talent, but this is not good. He went against it. He put it out. The lady never put it up. And when she did, she just had the picture. No title, no nothing. And I was like, I told him that's not going to work. It was a mess. I sent him a cease and desist. I said, this is not going to work. He agreed. 15 minutes later, he released his magazine. He had been working on his own publication. My cousin called me because she was the one who put us together. She was like, you know, so-and-so got a whole website? I was like, well, what are you talking about?
So that whole time, he quote was, unquote, working on yours.
He was, right. So when I got him into the not BET Awards, the Black Honors, he was taking those pictures. I was just getting him in because I have press clearance for these things, but he was using that to his advantage. BET things down in Florida, then in LA. He was using.
Was this the recent?
No, this was a couple of years ago. This was 2022.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's when I let him go.
Years, I remember when you was first starting off of the first couple covers.
No, this was literally 2022. This was 2 years ago. We're 2024.
Oh my God, yeah, we only now basically the 5th month. Yeah, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, he did this. So, and it was okay. But that was a red flag when he was saying to me, oh, you know, my business partner wants this and he wants it. I'm like, for what? That's my finance department. Who's talking finance? You can't have these things yet.
Right.
This is 4 quarters. I need to see what these 4 issues are going to look like. And look, it didn't work. But then he went, he was just shadowing me to start up his magazine.
Own joint. That's crazy.
So, but again,
that won't flourish because you don't have
bad energy.
Yeah, bad energy and like an actual platform. Because at that point,
well, you know what? This is what happens when you give people your resources and you help them and you think it's a fair exchange. You know, I don't expect for anybody to work for me forever. Number one, especially if you're a talented person, that's just like ridiculous,
Right.
especially when everybody wants their own.
Right.
All right. But what I don't expect is for someone to take my ideas or take what I'm doing and then say, you know what, you didn't show me anything. I said, well, you need to read all 15 of these emails and text messages. And then for you to come back 6 months later and say, hey, I would like to collaborate. Wow, you need some more ideas. So these are the things that happens when Shiesty.
After the fact came back and collaborate?
Yeah, he did. He said, and I was
have
like,
nerve.
but those red flags let you know right away.
Right.
And I knew it. But for yourself, on a business standpoint, make sure your paperwork is tight on your end. Make sure when you have these open-end contracts, they are really concrete. You cannot use this. You cannot start this. That was on my end. So that was a really big red flag for me in more recent times. I've been doing this for umpteen years, but that was the most recent to say. Anybody who wants your financial, who wants to tie you in and lock you in, that could have been a real bad legal battle. If I signed anything with him.
Right.
But I would not do it.
Smart. This is a class for you, man. You got a good sense, man. You just got a good sense not to get yourself some bullshit.
Except for men. That is not right.
So,
can we get on that topic? Is that the type of show? No, sorry. God damn.
So, what I wanted to do, so obviously we talked about you publishing or getting your work published, but again, because you know what you're doing out here, you are now a publisher yourself. So, Sha, if you don't mind, real quick, can you do us like the ring girls at the UFC? Can you show up? Can you show out the? So, shout out to my. If you look at
Sha Money.
Look at Sha Money.
Drewski.
Shout out to Drewski. What we got? Yeah, show some more. Yeah.
How much money is that, kid?
Fuck a ring girl. Fuck a ring girl. We got Sha Money.
That's so crazy.
So, for those of you who are not watching on YouTube, we just showed 3 magazines. Well, it's technically 2. One is called Height, and the other one is called Composed, and those are both of your magazines.
Yes.
So, if you could just please briefly just talk about those, and also, can you give just general tips for anyone who wants to publish their own work, right? They can't figure out how to get somebody, whatever. Yeah. You, again, with all the research and everything you've done, you just did it your damn self.
Yeah,
so
great question.
Please, A, just kind of talk about your brands here, your magazines, and then B, just kind of tips you can give somebody else who wants to self-publish.
Absolutely. So Height is a fashion lifestyle magazine, men, women. It started off for tall women like myself, and it actually is an acronym. It means honor every inch God handed to you.
Let's fucking go.
That's what Height.
For any of you judges trying to get a frico, what is there for, sis?
Height means honor every inch God handed to you.
You heard that? For you frico ass judges, it stands for something.
Inch, not the ones you choose. Every single inch, okay?
I'm uncomfortable.
Inches.
I'm uncomfortable. You can't talk inches around my sister with me in the room. King needs a frico. I don't know which one do the frico sound. Arrest this nigga. Send him to Diddy Island. I'm uncomfortable.
No Diddy here.
No Diddy here.
Let's talk about inches with my.
Oh my God. It's not the inch that they're talking about. As he holds the Big Daddy Kane issue up.
Right? Yeah, this is
Hey, again, no.
Right?
Puffy, man. God damn it.
No, just Big Daddy.
Listen, nigga.
The Big Diddy, nigga. No Diddy.
Oh man.
So that's Height. That's what Height means, but it's for everyone. And Composed is what it is. Composed.
Shout out to Drewski.
It's all music.
Shout out to Drewski.
Thank you, Drewski.
Yeah.
Gave a great interview.
Jersey legend.
Yes, he is. He represented well. Composed is that, talking about music, everything from entertainment aspect, film, musical scores, Broadway, anything that has to do with music. That's what it is. True and through. It's not that she foo-foo stuff. We interview everybody that you could think of in the music industry. So that's what that is. And then I have one. It's called At Home. Yeah, I got another one. It's called At Home with Height. Real estate, rehabbing, anything that has to do with home, decorating, everything you could possibly think of. So that's another magazine that we have. And then there's the Beauty View. All things beauty and grooming for men and women. So I have literally four publications.
Quick question to open the publishing question.
So basically, if you want to publish your own magazine, a lot of people like to do it digitally, but I'm old school. I like to still feel the paper, smell the paper. You can actually do that as well. Just make sure you have a great format and really know who your audience is, know who you're targeting. So if you want to get that done, you really need to start there. A lot of people just say, I want to put one together. If you just want to do tatas, that's fine. If you just want to do brassieres, that's fine, but know your audience. Know who you want to target first. So when you make something, it doesn't go up in flames and like you're trying to search and sift and have everybody try to come, to be along with it. And you're like, okay, well, what is this about? That's the first thing. Know your audience. So if you want to get it published, like literally paper, put a great format together. Know what size you want. There's several different sizes.
There's real paper in here.
Yeah.
Know what size you want. This is like the average size for a publication, how many pages you want to do. And if you want to do it online yourself, you can. Just know how much it's going to cost. It's going to cost a lot if you go to a printer. You got to make sure they know the bleed. If they do it wrong, there was a printer, a person who actually did it where I was skipping pages, quality control, all of this stuff. You got to make sure that it's on point because you got to send this to your people. And the people purchasing it, and you got 3 pages that's missing or out of order. So it's not.
Didn't even think about that.
It's more tedious.
It really is.
So when you was like, you know what, the independent publisher lane, like when you asked the question to segue into this, did that open up more doors just to the idea of what access, once you were like, oh shit, this is, because a lot of times, like you said, like it's really sitting down, reading, understanding what needs to be done, what I probably shouldn't do. Once you get that understanding, did that help open the access to like, oh shit, I can really do X, Y, and Z with saving money opposed to giving it to somebody else and then having it? Because then at that point, once they get it done, whatever, but you got to check. Correct. So once you learned how to go through the publishing, that was like, you know what? I can do these things.
Correct. So that's where I say that's where the reading part, your research. If you're really serious about it and you still want it to be you want to distribute it by way of paper, having a full leaf editorial like this, you really have to do your research and check your target. Like, do you want perfect binding or do you want saddle stitch? Do you know the difference between the two? Do you know which one is more costly, which one is more cheap?
Never heard that shit day in my life. I do not know.
I thought it was paper.
Saddle stitch. I just
correct. You see what I'm saying?
I ain't know the saddle one. I just saw you stitch the motherfucker. Yeah, nice.
Charmin or Bounty, right?
You got. If you saw what he did.
No, we can't do shit serious here.
No, it was a serious disgust.
There you go.
It's very informative, but like you never heard that.
Right, but you won't if you don't do your research on it and you allow someone else to do it. You gotta. It's like any other business. You know, I don't mean to reference the Amazon owner, Jeff Bezos. But I'm sure when he was doing all of this, he had to learn a lot of things, whether he worked for another company or he started his own. You have to know what it is that your brand is and how you're putting it out and publishing. Those are little things that you need to know. What type of paper? First thing people talk about is the quality of my paper. Like, which grade are you using? You got to know your grades. You can see, if you have a paper where you can look through and see the other side,
you obviously know it's a low grade. Shit. You might not know exactly.
And I don't even think about it, but like, obviously, because like,
specific of what type of paper that cheap ass.
Those are just little things you don't ever. The really details that you don't ever think about.
But that's a publisher. That is. First things you want to do to make it a little simpler for certain people, not that they don't understand, is go to a bookstore and look at the different qualities of magazines. Pick up a GQ, pick up a Hype magazine, pick up a Better Homes and Gardens. See what type of quality, see the train. If you see one GQ, you see another magazine, men's magazine, see if they following their own trends together. Like, are they piggybacking each other or is it different? That's a good way to start. That's how I did it because I said, I don't like this paper.
You know what this remind me of? Oprah magazine because it's thicker and sturdier.
Correct.
No Diddy. But now think about this. I don't know if you guys remember the Jets in the
It
smaller.
is quite sturdy.
magazine.
Right.
And those Jets, now that I'm thinking about it, because like even
They're
just holding
smaller,
it,
more
Yeah.
pages, thinner.
Thicker.
right,
Correct.
But like even like holding this, like you can like I can read this. You know what I'm saying? Like in the sense of it's not like wobbly
Yes.
all over the place. Like I can go
Right.
to this page, go to the next, and like it's not fucking flimsy and going.
Correct.
So like again, just those little things about paper, I don't even fucking think about.
Right. I knew what I
Damn.
wanted. So now that when you get to that stage and that's what you want, it might be costly to you, but then again, there's ways around that. You can budget yourself. You can maybe distribute a little bit less. If you're doing it independently, you can have it delivered from whatever, if you don't have a website, your own personal location, whatever it is that you want. But you got to definitely learn the steps to that. My next step now is that I'm looking at my own printing machine. So I picked out 5 that I really like that got the best reviews. So that's my next step is printing, have my own machine to print my own magazines, to do my own quality control. So
Let's get some fucking classic
She
game.
cut the
God
middleman
damn,
out.
man.
And then All Starter was like, let me read.
Basically.
Right. Let me read that.
bitch, you got a degree.
Right? Shit, read. That's crazy. That's
So-
a great question.
And
For
again,
real.
so I want to keep
Yeah.
diving into like your
Yes.
background because I just find it so interesting and
Thank you.
fascinating. And I left this part kind of later because I find this part to be the most interesting.
Okay.
You are a published screenwriter. A published screenwriter.
Yes.
So you have written basically television shows. I know you have also created your own reality TV show as well. So A, I want to touch a little bit in that. And then B, do you have, we call it controversial, but like, do you have like a controversial take when it comes to the screenwriting / TV world that many people may agree or disagree with you with, but just something that like maybe the common folk like myself who don't know shit about shit may find quite interesting?
About like when they were on strike or something? What do you mean? Like-
Just the whole industry itself, because it's an industry
Well-
that, like, again, I know really
Yeah.
nothing about, and you just see
Yeah.
TV shows pop up, and especially like with Netflix and all these other
Right.
streaming sites, you just see people just putting shit up, and it's like, yo, who called Netflix and told them this is gonna be the one? Because
Yes.
how the fuck this shit get on their goddamn platform?
Well, you know what? I understand exactly what you're saying. The thing about entertainment is when you have like large engine searches such as like a Netflix who kind of started this whole thing. Back in our day it was Blockbuster.
Yep.
And then
Hollywood Videos.
You see what I'm saying? Blockbuster, and then Netflix said, "Hey, let us work with you, and we like what you're doing." And they say, "Kick rocks," and now
Everyone begging.
You
Please,
see?
Netflix, I got a season
them?
for you.
So with that, because they're so open, I can see that's why you see the different content that they have. Like some people, I heard somebody making a comment. If I see another movie with subtitles on, whatever.
Oh yeah, when they do some the Filipino or the Spanish shits.
That's all I go to now.
English.
Let me see if I can learn Chinese. That shit don't got nothing.
But that shit be lit. I don't understand a word these motherfuckers be talking
No,
about.
I read the
but
title. I'm like,
subtitles be
I think I get it. I feel this shit. Tony, the dog is loose. I ain't watching shit without subtitles for 5 years. I ain't learned a new language yet, nigga.
Yo, you know what's funny? I used to hate subtitles. I used to hate them shits. Now I feel like I can't watch some of these shows without it. I don't know what the fuck going on. Like I ain't what that nigga said. But I'm sorry. So first off, you got me the whole
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but that's a great point. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh shit, they programmed us to.
Right.
Boy got his nasty rabbit hole. So
Right.
first things first. First things first. How did you even get into this world? And how did you get this far? Because again, I don't know nobody who is like a screenwriter. Like that sounds like some Juilliard fucking. It just sounds wild,
It's how I went to LA and I stayed out there for a few months.
Remember you was in Jurassic Park?
Right. That's yeah. Yep, I went to LA, and I mean, my journey has been woo. So I went to LA, and I was on this set called oh God, I can't even think right now, but it was for an attorney show. I think it was
Law and Order or some shit like that.
No, it wasn't Law and Order. It was another one. I can't think right now. It'll come to me when I'm gone.
Yeah.
But I was on the set, and they wanted me to be the stenographer. And they gave me the script to read. And I had to follow along with it. And I was like, man, this is so intriguing. And then I watched them take this set down to do a different angle and then record it. And I was like, this was so intriguing to me. So after I saw that, I had always loved writing and writing little things, but I just never took it seriously. I took the script home and I just like kept it and revisited it later. Ran into a good friend who ended up being on Law and Order. He actually was in Analyze This and in Analyze That. He gave me a script. So I was like, how do I like land like two scripts like
That's
out of the
crazy.
blue?
Like legit ass scripts too.
Right, they were real scripts. So
Holy
I was
shit.
looking at him, and Brian was like, yeah, this is the new movie. The second
What was his
movie
name again?
I'm
We
in.
didn't catch it. You said it by mistake.
Who, Brian?
Okay, Brian. Continue.
Brian Rogowski.
Brian Rogowski.
He was on Law and Order. He's, rest in peace, Brian. He passed away. But he was a great person. He's the one who gave me the script that really said, after I had the first one from the Practice, that's the name of the show. From LA. Yeah, it was The Practice.
I think I've heard of this.
Shit.
Yeah, it was The Practice. So after I had that script, then when I came home, he was an actor and he was with Cynics Casting here on the East Coast, or I think it was Cynics here. And lo and behold, I was like, I can write something. And I had all these ideas in my head, and I wrote my first script. I never did anything with it, but I liked it. And I let a couple of people read it, and they loved it. This was going back maybe 10, 12 years. So fast forward, I never gave up. I just kept writing, never did anything with it, put them all on a USB. Like I got 3 or 4 of them. And then finally, when it came time for me to like do this reality show thing, I was just like, I don't want to do no reality show.
Right.
But this could get me into the next door.
Of course it could.
That I want to get into. So I just did that, and it just catapulted. It just happened. I just kept going different places and meeting different people. Became friends with some people that do film festivals, and that's pretty much what happened. I started entering my scripts. I was really afraid to allow people to read it because we're our worst critic.
Always.
And then
always.
we were our worst critic. So I finally said, stop. You're sitting on all this material. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they don't like it, they don't like it, but at least give it a try. You gave that a try. And I said, yes. So I entered my scripts to get some natural, real feedback. And I ended up winning like awards for them last year.
Yeah. Amazing. Get some fucking claps for that.
From the Toronto Film Festival? Which one was that?
Well, there's one. I wrote my first horror. I don't even watch horror, but I wanted to push myself in boundaries.
Aiden loves horror, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Aiden.
I wrote a horror script, and it got picked up last year and won. And I wrote this, which is Young in Hollywood, based off of a literal photo shoot. These kids inspired me. So I wrote Young in Hollywood, the show, and then that won 2 awards. Yeah, just from that. And they're actual actors from The Best Man and things like that, and other great shows and Broadway. So I just started entering the scripts so they can see, like, okay, give me the feedback. This is what I want. What do I need to change? And they were like, nothing. We like it. So I started working with.
That's crazy, right?
They're like, nah, it's cool. You should like put money behind it. So it's kind of hard to get the funding, but now with the docuseries, it kind of opened up the door for me to go on and expand with one of the shows. I can't talk about which show it is, but
yeah,
we gonna watch it.
We'll touch at the very end.
Yeah.
We'll touch at the very end.
Yeah.
So again, real quick, if you just have like what would be just one take that you have, since this seems like a relatively new journey for you in getting into this industry? What would be like a controversial or whatever, just like a take that you have from this industry that may be different from the ones you've dealt with, maybe the same, just something that you kind of notice about doing screenwriting and trying to like create your own television show, really.
Well, with this, I can't say with anything. It's viewership. It's all about what is intriguing and what is going to pull the audience in and what is more relatable. All of that has to be, it's almost like a colossal of a whole bunch of things. What's relatable? Who's going to like it? Who's going to watch it? Is this, which age group? Because now we got all these different, we got the Gen X, Gen Zs, Gen this and this, that. And you can't leave this one out.
Everybody Gen.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to kind of like just figure it out and just say, you know what? I'm going to make this. And if they like it, I'm going to try to put a dash of this for some people. I'm going to try to put a dash of that to get these people. But you're not going to please everyone. So what I've done is just stayed authentic to what I like to do. It just give you the content. And there's enough, I think, visibility-wise, there's enough people that will gravitate towards something that they just love to watch. I've seen old, pardon my French, old white men that love Real Housewives of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Whether they're watching it for the beauty.
There's a lot of white people in Georgia.
Right,
I'm
but
sure
whether...
I'm sure they love that shit. Hey, I'm just saying.
But whether it's for the beauty of it...
These black women like, hey, this is
right. But you see what I'm saying? It's the most unlikely. Like, one of my favorite shows is Ozark. I would love to have them write one of the shows that I created. Now, some people might say, well, that's an all... Well, they had some people of color, but... That was an all white cast.
I was just about to say, because it's funny, especially like being black folk. There's a lot of all these all white shows that we like.
We love.
So, and that's why it's funny when you mention the white people loving that.
Correct.
Of course they do. Like, just because it's not always talked about, whatever. But of course they do.
Right.
Like, because at the end of the day, these shows are as big and popular as they are, not just because black folk watch them.
Right.
These other races and cultures
but I think
love
also
that shit.
too.
Right.
That's the thing, like you said. Well, before, because King, you won it with the question. This is Jeopardy, nigga.
That's to me.
Yeah, you won it with the question. But like, because you've seen, I'll just say seasoned. She's still 37, but I'll say seasoned.
Oh, right? Blocking that. Yeah, I'm cutting that word out.
I'm just throwing that out there. No, because we talk about.
You lucky she your sister. I'm a,
Gotcha. But
I can't.
But I'm saying, like, you've seen, like you said, from going to LA, doing this, that, third, and then from now, like you were saying, we were talking about like you're sending questions out every day. Like you've seen pretty much this shift.
Right.
And from Netflix and all of this, like could it be harder for you like to spot, like you said, a genre you want to target, or what is your target audience? Because before, like it was like I would think back in the day it was like
you had
from
to.
your
It was
experience,
different.
like, to see what sticks.
Right.
Now it's like you said, it's Netflix, Hulu.
Right. I can actually tell you, it's this time and era that we are in is so much easier and so much better.
Really?
It's so much better. Back in my day, back in the earlier day, the 80s, the 90s, you could not just approach a platform, or back then a television station like an ABC or an HBO and say, hey, I have this great show. No, do you have a literary agent? Do you have a manager?
Production companies.
Do you have this? Do you have that? How many attorneys do you have? Do you have an entertainment attorney? First of all, if you give us this, we're not going to say anything because we can have something similar to it and it come out. So it was different. It's like that now, but not entirely.
Right.
So now you can create something and put it onto a platform and then say, you know what? This generation, these people, they might watch it. If they don't, it's okay because then we have this platform on the other one. On YouTube. So it's a little bit different. But when
I get what you're saying.
But when it comes to creating for different age groups, I literally create whatever I feel, whatever hits me. So like one of the shows I do have, it's more geared toward the 20-somethings. And people might say, well, you're a 37-something, hint, hint, hint.
Yeah, you're blocking this one out too.
No. She's a fucking time traveler. Trump's kid is a time traveler. What the fuck she can't be? Jesus Christ. What are you doing? 37, continue.
So you sitting up here and you're writing this content for these 20-something people, but hello, I was 20-something once myself, so I can write from that perspective.
Right.
Times might be different here, but I can still use some of what I went through.
Of course, because there's certain things that at 20 you feel no matter who you are.
Right, but if you're a creative person, your creative intellect, you can pretty much
no
there,
age special.
it isn't. You can pretty much create. Some people do have their area, but for myself, I don't. I create whatever I feel. I have something for Gen X, Gen Z. I have some stuff for everyone. So I kind of speak to everyone because that's universally what my talent is.
Really some fun. God damn it.
That's what
What
my
an
talent
episode,
is.
man.
And I would suggest that for anyone else. You know, don't try to pigeonhole yourself because that's where we kind of roadblock ourselves. You probably have so much talent. Don't just say, I can only do this because that's going to be accepted. Forget the acceptance. Just do what you feel because that's exactly what might hit. So.
God damn it. Fuck that. That's goddamn beautiful.
You on your Anthony Edwards tonight. I want to give you your flowers. Throwing up the oof.
Stupid. So before we go,
Yes.
there's two things I want to touch, right?
Okay.
It dropped today. The Kendrick response. I know you're in music. I just want to touch on it real quick.
I hate when you do this.
I wanted to touch on it real quick. Came on me late. I had to add it to the docket. How are we feeling? The record's called Euphoria.
Right.
I've heard it in its entirety. I've heard it twice in its entirety. Have you heard it by any chance?
I heard a snippet of it.
Okay.
I did.
Have you heard it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any early thoughts? Any opinions? Any feels?
Well,
Anybody, please. Open.
Well, for myself, I can say
How you
this
feel? How you feel?
because I have been watching rap beefs in my 37 years for a long time.
And we want to know which is your best after you answer this question.
So I kind of like
It's all your fault for the record.
a
He's a
whole
time traveler. I'm sticking to him.
magazine dedicated to, and you got the rappers in here. I would have
flex.
to say rap beefs, if you want to call it that, are very different from in my day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
These aren't real rap beefs.
Right.
These are
Like, I don't
rappers
even
that-
know where it came from. Like, we usually will know where they come from.
You gotta
This
go deep
one-
in the internet now.
this one
See,
is
that's-
now like-
It's not even streets talking no more. It's
It's
deep
not.
on Reddit.
It's
somewhere.
You
different.
minding your business, eating your tuna salad at lunch.
And then all of a sudden, Drake did a diss track.
To who?
And they drop it on random day. Yo, this man Kendrick dropped it at 8:24 a.m. West Coast time. You know what I was doing at that time? I just finished taking the shit at work.
I was about to say that.
I just, in my corporate ass job, I just left the bathroom, looked at my phone and said, what is this?
Nigga, I did this. I got back
What
in the
is
bed.
this?
I was like, thank God I gotta go to work today.
What is this?
I'm like, gotta go back in that motherfucker. Kendrick, you ain't that bad.
Oh, man.
No, I don't. I actually, even from what I heard, like I said, these beefs, if you will, and just like the young ladies have their beefs or whatever, because Kendrick is lyrically gifted.
Yes.
So is J. Cole. Drake to me is more of a singer. I know he raps. He's got some good, some good lines that I've heard some bars.
I'm gonna get
But
some
I
slack,
will-
sis. Drake is the Mel Madonna of our generation.
Okay. All right, you said it.
I just don't even know what
I
that
don't.
means.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
No.
Well, I thought that was Little Uzi Vert with his
Right, Madonna.
No,
Little like a virgin?
he ain't no virgin. But after Lil Uzi, I don't know what that is.
I don't either, but I'm not quite.
She said, that's the one time I say, not for me. That's just not for my group.
Yeah, I don't know, but I will say that Euphoria, it hit hard. Love Kendrick, it's not an ether or anything like that, but he got his point across.
And I just want to piggyback off what you said. You're right. Because I think a lot of times, especially for us as hip hop fans, we compare beefs to beefs, right? Because whether it's we grew up with a certain beef or like there's just certain beefs that like you said, like the ether, like I'm anybody knows me, I'm the biggest Jay-Z fan in the world. So obviously take over ether, anything that dropped within that area I was super locked into.
Right.
So I try my best nowadays to kind of take that biasy out of there and understand this is what it is. And it's two rappers rapping against each other.
Right.
And honestly, thank God this happened because although I love the collabs and the buddy, look, at the end of the day, in my mind, hip hop has always been competitive, right?
Correct.
And it's always been, I call it a competitive sport in some senses.
But what was the competitive?
That's what you're asking.
They're going back and forth. I guess that's competing for who is the better rapper in my estimation, I guess.
But see, all right, so that's what all right, fuck it. I'm gonna just ask you. You came from, like you said, it was real beef. You was like,
Right.
yo, I heard, and where's Faith Evans from?
Right, she's from Newark.
You was around.
Right.
So that era,
Right.
it was hands on. So
Because
me,
beef was dangerous then.
But
nigga, we got off the toilet and found out one of these high class niggas was upset.
But the thing is that's why I'm saying, like, I'm confused because at least from my era with the rappers that I grew up listening to and grew with listening to, we can recite a hard bar. Can you
Like
find
you said,
one
Ether,
of these?
hit 'em up.
Shit, Amanda Seals had a hard bar when she was talking to Shay Shay, and she was like, "He black by association, but not by commerce." That was a fucking bar.
That was a
bar.
Shout out to Amanda Seals.
That was a hard bar.
Wait,
and she didn't even-
You like Issa Rae? I gotta.
Cool.
If you like Issa,
I like
wanna
Issa, but
be.
we'll see.
I like Issa too.
Come on the show.
Well, fuck
Come on
it.
the show.
I love
See,
Issa.
I started a turf war.
Shout out to Hilltop, California.
That's how I start.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like I can pick a bar out. You can pick bars out from beefs,
Fair. No, that's you know what?
right?
Look,
From back in my day. But can we pick one out
that
from
is
here?
that is an amazing point. What I will say is
Yeah.
I thought both records, whether it's the Push Up record from Drake, the Euphoria record from Kendrick, are both very on brand for each other. In the sense of the Push Up record was much more of a diss record that I could hear in fucking Starlets or some random ass club in New York. And the Kendrick shit, I know every little kid who was on Reddit, Twitter, or whatever is gonna recite every bar and
Next door Quoya.
and look, you know what I'm saying? Or like look up the quadruple entendre and tell you. So
Yeah.
so I think it served its purpose. And again, I try not to compare it to the past because, as you said, the past was just so different. It was just so much more involved. There were so many more people involved. That shit was real, right? I don't know how much real this shit is, and even if it is real, it's not like these niggas about to fight. So it's not like no one's about to get harmed. This is just strictly rap records.
Right.
And I will say, especially over the past 10, 15 years, when these top artists don't want to say nothing to each other, I can at least appreciate two top artists saying something to each other because this hasn't happened maybe since 50.
No,
I
you're
guess,
right. But what are they
This
saying?
is nowhere near that even.
But that's what I'm
Right.
saying. What
How
are
do
they
you feel
saying?
about it, King?
What are they saying?
Listen, it was cool. I agree. I can't. Can I give you a bar? No, the one thing I can say is you can't say nigga. That part was funny as fuck. The part where he kept saying you can't say nigga was hilarious. Only because
that's wild. That's wild too.
Only because Drake is the only half white person I see that's gotten away with it. Every other half, J. Cole half white.
Yes.
Oh, see, that's another nigga. But see, hold on. But J. Cole really got left the fuck out this conversation. And I know Shaw's a big J. Cole fan. He gonna get mad at me for this. I call J. Cole now the hip hop Kevin Durant. And I call him the hip hop KD is because at one point I thought KD was about to be top 5. Now that nigga might be 15. And that's how I feel about J. Cole. I thought he was gonna be one of them ones.
But why did he get knocked down? Because
you don't drop a diss record and then say my bad. Don't do that.
But again,
but just don't drop it.
But this is what happens when you're in a different era. Because we're not. I don't want to say we're in a soft era.
Now we
No,
are.
we are. But it be soft then.
Yeah,
I'm
we
all
are.
cool about being soft. I'm all cool. No, Sean, don't defend him now. Yeah,
It's a different-
cool.
So it's a
but
different.
you talking about the okay?
It's
So
a different era.
No, that's drill. No, that's drill beef.
But you talking about,
That's
the real killers. I'm not talking
No,
about real
I
killers.
saw-
I'm talking about Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake.
No, those are biracial snow bunnies. Let me get on my Dr. Umar shit.
They net worth combined is
Snow
probably
bunnies.
$1 billion. So I'm not talking about niggas who are making $1 billion. So yeah, them Chicago niggas are broke. Those Chicago niggas
I
are
pray to
broke.
God Drake never
but they
rap
broke
with a Chicago
rappers
nigga.
on World Star. There's a difference. There's a difference in a broke rapper rapping. Hold on. We're going to talk about this later because Sha yelling at me.
I
from the
will
background.
definitely say this as a spectator. You
I
know,
agree with Sha.
I'm not
I'm
a
offended.
raptress. I'm not a rapper or anything. I respect the craft, whether it's in a different era or not. But I will say this: I've never seen a artist, a rap, especially a hip hop rap artist, rescind their diss.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
There's a lot of
I've
niggas
never
not
seen-
lying.
not
I ain't
rescind.
never seen that shit a day in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Say, the nigga dropped it a week later said, my
My bad.
bad.
So that's what I'm saying.
A week later, Nah, my
He
soul
was
is.
like,
my
he
soul
was
is
like-
not rescind.
He
Rescind is
rescinded his dick.
crazy. You made that shit
That
sound.
nigga dropped and said, "Oh, delete, unsend,
She's a screenwriter.
That nigga undo that.
Yeah, nah, what the fuck was that though? That got me hot.
So real quick, do you have any opinions on it?
Yeah, hell yeah. The fuck? Yeah, I got a lot, but I'll keep it very political. I'm gonna try. This shit weird. I put it like that. It's like you punch your man's at lunch. You realize you in trouble because now he won't fight.
3 o'clock.
And they be like, my bad, son.
You did it on Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, you got low. The weekend up. Now he's like, all right, he been ducking me. Monday, you in the line. You line up as, my bad, dog. What? It's up, nigga. 3 o'clock. That's weird. And then this Drake shit. I think we talked about this. We got a lot of heat last episode with me, Shaw. It was us three. And we was talking about like they said he Madonna because this way y'all he not going away. No household because you're doing diss tracks that or might be hits. Kendrick, I feel like his like you said he's lyrically inclined. I feel like it'll get lost because like outside of him talking about what you say he can't say nigga, like he was talking about like real shit and then hitting on like you don't want to come at no real rappers like that's my thing.
Yeah, that
Drake, you want to make a song.
Yeah. Okay, I thought about
That's why I said he Madonna. You want to make a song.
He said the pushing
rap.
He said fuck pushing P. How about you push a T?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That's tough. That shit was hard. I can't lie to you. That was a very good bar.
Because he said you coming at Pharrell. He made these niggas like
and he said I don't like that Pharrell shit. I'm in here.
Sha remembers he remember live from where?
Yeah.
Kendrick. West Coast. West. You already know what side I'm on. And I love Toronto because it's clean. 6 dot air. 6 air.
Hey, Crody, chill, Crody.
Y'all tell this weird ass shit.
Hey, chill,
this biracial snow buddy you got berets. No, I'm getting hot. Because I pay American tax. He come here talking shit to you niggas. J. Cole, rescind your recension, nigga. The fuck? Get back right. Both you niggas can't say nigga. I'm hot.
Oh my God. Listen,
I'm sorry, my sister pie.
Well, everything went left. So we might as well finish off the pod like this. So before we go, we started off with a great juice story. We're gonna end up with a great juice story. So if you have one more good big juice story, please share it with us.
She used to change my diapers, my nigga.
That's why I'm asking her. That's not you. That's why I'm asking her. I ain't asking you for your story.
Oh my God.
This one is funny. He was about, I don't know, about five or 6 years old. And he asked a question. I think he asked my father a question. And my father was like, he answered it. And Julius was like, well, what do you know? And then, my stepmother, his mother said, well, Julius, it is right. Your father is right. He said, well, what do you know? Both of y'all look like 100 collectively with your age. I was like, wait, did you just say this motherfucker's 100?
I was like, out the womb funny as fuck. That's just crazy.
I was like, y'all told him his age, your age. He was like, my father said, he was like, y'all about 100 together. You don't know what's going on.
I'm going to ask him and still.
Let's get your fucking class going, guys. You came out the womb funny as fuck.
He just had those classic, just like those lines.
You the wittiest
like,
one-line nigga I've met in my life.
And it was like, what do you know?
Another nigga who got one-liners like him.
No, he was about 6. He was like, what do you know?
That's just what you 50. You both about 100 combined is fucking.
When he said that, I was like, then why you say that? Yeah, that's a true story.
Oh my God. Again, Ray, one more time for the class, please. Gentlemen, it's all clap it up. Yo, such amazing gems. Thank you again. Before we go, any way people can find your work, reach you, want to talk to you, ask you questions, please let everybody know.
Yep. I'm on Instagram, MS_Radiance Ash. You can visit Hype Magazine, Composed Music Magazine, Instagram. They're on Twitter, on X, same thing. You can go to hypemag.com. And just like check out the docuseries that'll be out very soon.
I didn't touch too much.
That's
on it.
okay.
Working
That'll
on
be
it.
out very soon.
We could.
So very soon, Mitch. That's what y'all
get a part 2.
50 years and counting.
Please, it's for 50 years of hip hop. So make sure y'all
Yes.
check it out. Again, thank you so
Thank you for
very
having
much,
me.
man.
Says
Listen, on behalf of the
Thank
gang,
you.
Big Jew, please close us out, brother.
And no resending.
No free game.